Hey everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about node presets. They're particularly useful if you ever have to recall node settings, and rather than having to type them in over and over again or change them manually, you can just call in a node preset. All right, let's jump into this. And I'm just going to create a color correct node on here. See here, default settings. Say you made some corrections, whatever they might be. And this can be with any node. I'm just choosing color correct node. You can also use a grade node, works just as well. I'm not really aiming for anything in particular here. I'm just going to make some adjustments away from the original so we can see a change here. Okay, great. Say I like this. Maybe I want to use this for other footage I might have to work with later on. What I can do now is go up to this little wrench icon on the node, and I can save that as a preset. And I can see I also have other presets already saved here. But if I go ahead and save this one, just to walk through the process, we'll take a look at that. So I'm going to save this. We'll give it a name. We'll say contrast or something. That's going to be the preset for that. So now if I look back under my presets, contrast is going to be there. Now these presets, they're saved in your .nuke folder. So under your .nuke folder here, they're going to be in the node presets. So I already have some of that existing here. They're basically on this top level, they're going to be inside of the user presets.py. So if I were to open that up, you'll see all those presets in there. Now the way to get kind of these subfolders, if I wanted to do that and kind of break them out in their own individual folders, is when you go to create or save the preset, save as preset, maybe give it a folder name. We'll call this color correct for the node. And put a // on there. And we'll call this contrast. We'll just do a contrast in there. And create. So now I'm going to look under my presets here. I see I have a new user folder, and inside that user folder, color correct is my contrast node. If I jump back over to my .nuke folder, you'll see that it's created my color correct folder from the node preset. So that's where you can find these if you ever need to edit those out. You can also delete them directly through here. Go to delete preset. We'll get rid of this color correct here. Contrast. I want to go back up there. Not available for me. Get the color correct over to this footage here. I'll go through some of those settings as well. See how they affect it differently. Saturation ramp, that's mainly inputting expressions. So if you have a bunch of knobs or nodes with expressions on them, it's a good idea to save it as a preset. So that way you don't have to go in and reset expressions on here or whatever you might be setting up. So these node presets you might want to just think of as like something like this. So that way you can kind of actually choose visually which kind of preset you want to use. Same idea that's going on here. We just don't have that visual representation. Let's go ahead and close these out. I'm going to show you one more example. I've also set up a shuffle node with some presets. I'm going to call it the shuffle node. Yeah. So in the shuffle node, I have a few different presets. If we take a look at that right now, we'll see I have red, green, and blue. Basically what I've done is I set a preset for red, so that way it shuffles all my, takes my red, shuffles it all out to RGB. Same thing goes for the green and the blue. You'll notice I also included a postage stamp in this preset. So if I set this node up with the postage stamp turned on, anytime I recall it or go to the preset, it's going to retain that postage stamp option, and I'll be able to see what that particular thumbnail looks like. There's another good use for presets there as well. Now, because these node presets are saved as user preferences, you can just go to the node preset folder located in the .nuke folder. You can take any of these, save them to a central shared location, have another user pick them up, and the other user can take them, pop them into their .nuke folder, and they'll be able to use the same node presets that you have available to yourself on your machine. Now, because they are just user preferences, if you happen to be working with, say, Nuke Studio or Hero, any of the corresponding nodes that are also soft effects, you'll also have the ability to use those node presets in those programs as well. So I'm actually working in Nuke Studio. I'm just in the compositing workspace of it. Let me jump over to Nuke Studio. Here we have a finishing workspace, and here's our timeline. It's our shots. It's the same shot right there. If I were to add on the color correct soft effect, I have access to those node presets that were already set up. Let's choose line art. There we go. Same thing can be said though if I create any node presets while in Nuke Studio or Hero workspace. Let's say crop We'll add a crop on here. Crop here, maybe we'll just bring this in. We'll save this node preset as letterbox. Now, if I were to create a nuke script using these soft effects, this is going to transfer over to the nuke script. Open that up. Here we have the color corrected created and the crop node as well with the letterbox setting. If I were to create another crop node inside of nuke now, I can access the same letterbox preset. There we go. So hopefully you have a new insight to presets if you didn't already know about them, and maybe you'll use them in your future workflows. Thanks for watching.